What's up, everybody? Today we are out putting down some sudan grass, sorghum sudan. This is one of the forages that we plant after wheat. So you can see the wheat that we harvested in June. We planted this sudan, and if you've been following our channel, you know that it's been super dry here in Kansas in June and July, and then for a lot of August as well. But there at the end of August, we started catching some rains. We actually got a 2.5-inch rain just this past week. And you would not believe how much this sorghum sudan grass has grown just in the last week or two. I would say it was about, a foot high for most of the summer since we planted it. And it's a very drought tolerant crop. That's why we plant it. It's just for forage. We're gonna lay it down here and then we're gonna bale it.
Out here swathing sudan grass today. My dad opened up this field, and now I'm starting right where he left off. We're trying to swath it a little bit high off the ground so that we get some regrowth to graze. But so that's why we're not swathing all the way to the ground. Also, I need to get a little bit more up to speed here. Here we go. That's a little thin spot. Something happened there, and then got some thicker stuff here. That's probably 5 to 6 feet. Well, maybe 6 to 7 feet tall there. Okay, I don't think that I will go as fast as I was in the alfalfa through this year, but mainly that's because this field is bumpier than that first year alfalfa field. I'm going 9 miles per hour now. Okay, so I am like I'm about 6'3", so these ones that are shooting heads here are pushing 7 foot. So that's what we've got going into the mower conditioner here. The Kubota DMC here is taking all that matter, cutting it, crimping it with that full width conditioning roll there, and spitting it out this other side. And you see these stems are crimped. So that's gonna help them dry out a lot better, each of these stems. And then we're not gonna rake this field. We are just going to bale them up as is, so that we don't pull in all this straw with the rake. That's what we've noticed in other years when we do double crop sorghum sudan grass, is that we rake up a bunch of straw when it's planted after wheat. So that's the plan, is just get it crimped, get it laying on the ground here for 10 days or so, and then bale it up, make some good hay. Okay, this is probably the tallest stuff that I've cut so far. So I mean, it's tall. It's nine feet. So that's pretty good. If it was all this tall, then this field would make a lot of feed. But it's really there's only a couple draws that look this good, and then there's lots of thin spots too. So, but this is what sorghum sudan grass can do. And I believe Nathan put a touch of fertilizer on this side of the field where this draw is. So this has a touch of fertilizer, and the hill we just didn't put any fertilizer on. So the sorghum sudan grass kind of cover like this, its job is to use up any nutrients left behind by the wheat, and to provide good ground cover for this field through the summer, and then give us some hay as well. That's why we only fertilized half the field. We didn't want any more inputs than we had to on the hill ground that was gonna produce thinner anyways. Here's what the stuff looks like that was not fertilized. It's a little more yellow tint to it, as well as being a little bit shorter. But it was still a good stand and good usage of the ground.
Toby, you enjoying the ride? So Dad already got that swathed over there, and then I've been working my way from this other side back east. If you people have asked us why we went from our bi-directional double swather. It had the swather head on the front and the back. Why we went from 2 down to 1. And there's a couple different answers to that. One, we're working with Kubota, and so they offered to have us use this mower conditioner. But as far as the speed and effectiveness goes, we definitely have not taken a step back. This DMC, I'm going about 9.5 miles an hour right now. And so basically compare that to 2 swathers going 4 miles an hour. And we've actually gained speed. We've actually gained the amount of acres we can swath, even though this looks like it would be smaller and slower than having 2. Now the bidirectional heads were sickle heads, and so we were constantly having to change out the sickle sections, and it had a lot of maintenance to it. Whereas these mower conditioners, they've got the spinning knives, and those work a lot better. They allow you to cut a lot faster. You get a really nice clean cut at a high speed. And so, yeah, like I said, we don't feel like we've taken a step back at all. If anything, this is more comfortable. We're in a newer tractor. We've got less maintenance, just overall less stress. And the air conditioner works better in here than it did in the bidirectional. And the bidirectional was getting a little old. I think some people were sad to see us get rid of that, but it was getting a little old, a little past its prime, and I think we'd outgrown it a little bit. Now, another farm bought that bidirectional, and it's going to be used for years in the future, so I guess it's not past its prime. I guess what I'm saying is that it was past its prime on our farm. It was no longer a fit. So we can disconnect this M7 tractor, and we can use it to do a bunch of other stuff on the farm, whereas during the summer, the bidirectional was pretty much always hooked up to the swather, and so this is a little more versatile of a operation now. So we're happy about that. The only thing that would be nice is to have some auto steer on this tractor, which we don't have, and so it requires some steering. But sometimes it's good to get some good old-fashioned tractor steering in out in the field. There's definitely something to be said about the old-fashioned driving a tractor through a field instead of letting it drive itself. So there's a calming effect to it. Keeps your hands busy. You're not just on your phone all the time. People ask us why we don't take the loader off to do field work with this tractor. And most of what we do with this tractor is hay work, and so it's doing a lot of moving bales with the loader almost every day. And so, even though it's a pretty simple procedure to take the loader off, it's not worth it to us to mess with it if we're going to be switching it all the time. And Kubota has a feature on these loaders that it keeps the loader from bouncing, and it makes for a really smooth ride through the field. And so they kind of designed it to be able to leave the loader on if you want to. So it's nice to have the extra weight on the front with some of the things that we pull, and so we just choose to leave the loader on. I'm sure there will be a discussion in the comments of people who just love to take their loaders off, but we never have. That's just the way we do it. For those of you who aren't familiar why we started working with Kubota, this has probably been, I think it's been a 2-year partnership at this point, and it kind of spawned out of our relationship with Great Plains, who is located just 10 miles from here in Salina, Kansas. So Great Plains is our hometown equipment manufacturer with the drills and the air seeders and the tillage equipment. And Kubota actually bought Great Plains, I think it was 3 or 4 years ago. So we were working with Great Plains, and then Kubota bought Great Plains. And so it was a pretty logical addition to start running some Kubota equipment as well. And we've been very pleased with what we've gotten to use so far. We ran the M8 tractor, the M7, this mower conditioner, the round baler. And so we're looking forward to continuing that partnership. And it's cool because you guys get to see some new equipment versus if we wouldn't have started that partnership, it'd have been kind of the same old, same old. And we'll see some comments on our YouTube page and Facebook of like, oh, Kubota, they're this, it's this foreign company, or people will even say, It's this Chinese company. First of all, Kubota is not Chinese. Kubota originated in Japan. Also, this equipment is not foreign manufactured. This equipment is made right here in the United States, in Atlanta, and they're actually going to start manufacturing Kubota equipment here in Salina, right in our hometown. So this feels very local to us. We've had really good service, and pretty much every farm equipment manufacturer is shipping things overseas and manufacturing some things here in America, and it's a very worldwide industry. So it's a little bit unfair to kind of stereotype Kubota or any farm equipment manufacturer in that sense. All right, I am going to take off early to go to choir practice. There's a men's choir that I'm a part of that's performing for Hillingsfest in Lindsborg, and so we'll have to finish that up tomorrow. You can see the Milo heading out across the road here. We got a big old field of Milo. I've been in some type of choir ever since I was a little kid, and Nathan and Kendal were in choir as well. We were also in band, so we learned how to play different instruments, and I lead worship at church here in town on guitar and piano. And so the Peterson family has always been pretty musical, and maybe that differentiates us from a lot of farm families. It's not just farming. We like music and sports and quite a few other things as well. So a lot of people ask us, well, what was your background in music? How do you guys do all these music videos? And that definitely came from growing up doing music in church and at school. And so yeah, I'm heading off to choir practice. Not every farmer quits farming early to go to choir practice, but that's what I'm doing. Cubby, come on, it's time to go. Up. You ready to go home? Been a long day out in the field. You were getting kind of bored on me, weren't you? Hope you guys enjoyed the video today. We'll see you next time.